It's the Fader again. We're here with Japandroids in this van thing. What is this thing called?
It's called a Sprinter.
Sprinter. Okay.
Yeah.
These vans are. Is this like something that you do like before you get a tour bus, or like an in between stage? Like what is this?
This is the like most luxurious we've ever traveled. So like this is the first day of like a 2-month tour. Tonight's the first show, and this is kind of our first day in this thing. So we've upgraded from touring in an SUV to touring in a van, and then for this tour we have this thing. But we're a long way from like a real tour bus. It's also probably never ever gonna look this clean again, as long as we have it.
It is super clean.
Yeah.
So I live in New York now, but I grew up in Seattle, and when I was a kid or when I was like a teenager, I used to go to Vancouver all the time to get drunk. Because I was like, oh, sweet 19. Did you guys ever, when you were growing up, did you come to Seattle often or not really? Or
We came to Seattle.
I mean, I've come down for Bumbershoot a few times actually over the years.
I've come down for lots of shows, lots of bands that would never bother with the border and coming to Vancouver. So Seattle's the closest they play. Like I used to come over from the island or come down from Vancouver for shows all the time.
Yeah.
And when you guys first started playing out and touring the States and everything, was it kind of hard in terms of like just? I mean, I know I've talked to so many bands where they're just like they just don't like to deal with it ever, and they never tour the States because it's such a hassle sometimes. Was it ever like a big problem for you guys or anything? Anything weird happen?
It was in the early days. Like now we have visas, so we can actually come play in the States without too much trouble. But our first few shows in the States, we didn't have visas, so we just kind of like
playing on borrowed gear,
snuck down, borrow some gear, and like don't advertise.
MySpace friends with Seattle bands, and then trying to get them to help us hook up shows and stuff. And
you guys have always struck me musically as kind of a band, like even though it's like a pretty small operation and everything, as a band that's actually really good for playing in stadiums and like kind of festival atmospheres, which is like not that common in a lot of bands, I think. Do you enjoy playing festivals and stuff like this?
I think we do. I
yeah.
mean, I think we both like the diversity of like playing. It's fun to play, tiny little sweaty clubs where everybody's packed in. But it's fun playing these big festivals like this too. I mean, there's a certain atmosphere that you can only get when you just have this many, a huge group of people who are all into the same music, all congregating together. And we're lucky enough to, get to play some shows where there's a lot of people who are all super into what we're doing. And
Last year we kind of were beginning to make this jump from like playing small clubs like for like 100, 200 people, and then all of a sudden like on one day you'd play a festival and there'd be like 5,000 people or something there, and in those days it was pretty
terrifying.
Yeah, pretty terrifying. And pretty and we were kind of like we knew what we could do in a small club, and we knew how to like kind of like have a fun show. But when you're on a big stage like that and there's only 2 of you and people are like kind of far away from you physically, like I think in the beginning it took a few of those to like figure out that like how to do it and if you were going to enjoy doing it and all that stuff. But now we look forward to it.
We've gotten used to doing tours. So.
It's not long for us, but it's
a good chunk of time.
What's the longest tour you've ever been on?
3 months.
We did 3 months straight.
3 months straight. We did, yeah.
Yeah.
That was in an SUV.
Yeah, that was in Brian's mom's Ford Explorer that we bought off of her for the band.
Yeah.
With a trailer that was like. Oh my God! By the end of the 3 months, that thing was gonna explode at any minute, pretty much. But we survived.
So where is it now? Do you guys still use it?
Yeah.
Sort of, yeah.
We still use it at home, just for getting around in Vancouver and stuff like that. But we don't use it for tour anymore. It's had its time.
Yeah.
Are you after you guys play? Are you guys just out of here, or are you gonna try to see anything else tonight?
I think we're gonna hang around for the rest of Bumbershoot, but we're gonna go back to Vancouver tonight. Only because we had a bunch of stuff shipped to Vancouver at the start of the tour, and it's not going to get there till tomorrow, so we have to go back, and then as soon as we pick it up, then we come back tomorrow night, and then make our way to Montana where our next show is. So.
Yeah, we're going to hang out. I mean, Surfer Blood and Thermals are on this stage after us, so it'll be super fun.
We'll hang out and watch them for sure.
Cool. I guess that's about it.
Cool.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Thanks.